I'm really, really tired of y'all trying to rewrite history. I'm tired of y'all saying that Beyonce stole Amerie sound. So let's break this down because I don't want to hear this rumor anymore. I don't want to see no more headlines of Amerie and Beyonce in this regard.
Honey, let me tell you something. The BET Awards 2025 just gave us everything we needed and more. But what happened between Beyonce fans and Amerie has the internet in shambles. And don't even get me started on Ciara calling out Jim Jones about marriage on live television. This year's ceremony was pure chaos, incredible performances, and some of the messiest moments we've seen in years. The Beyhive came for Amerie's neck after her Tiny Desk performance went viral for all the wrong reasons.
So a common lie that the public likes to tell is that Beyonce ran away with Amerie's sound, basically pointing to one thing and Crazy in Love. So here are the credits for Crazy in Love.
But then something happened at the BET Awards that had everyone questioning if Queen Bee herself might owe Amerie some credit. And when Ciara decided to press Jim Jones about why he still hasn't married Chrissy Lampkin after 16 years together, the secondhand embarrassment was real. From Mia delivering the performance of the night to Mirio getting disrespected by being relegated to the pre-show, we're about to break down every single moment that had social media going absolutely feral. And can't we talk about how Mariah Carey finally got her first BET award at 55 years old?
And what do you know? Crazy in Love came out in May 18, 2003. Let's see when Amerie's One Thing came out. As you can see here, Amerie's One Thing came out 2 years later in January 5th, 2005.
The disrespect took decades to correct. But when it happened, even the hardest hearts were melting. The BET Awards 2025 brought back that old school energy with the 106 and Park tribute featuring Ashanti, T.I., Bow Wow, and B2K. But while everyone was celebrating this throwback moment, the internet was still dragging Amerie for that Tiny Desk performance where people said she sounded off-key and looked uncomfortable. Social media was ruthless. But then something shifted. When Amerie stepped on that BET Award stage tonight, she reminded everyone exactly why she was the blueprint for so many artists who came after her. During her performance, people started noticing that unique vocal style, those runs, that particular way she blends melody with rhythm, and it started sounding very familiar. That's when the whispers started. Because if you really listen to some of Beyonce's recent work, especially her experimental sounds, you might hear some similarities. Now, before the Beyhive comes for me, this isn't about copying. This is about influence. But the internet doesn't do nuance, honey. What started as people celebrating Amerie's redemption quickly turned into a full-blown comparison war. Team Amerie was posting old interviews where she talked about her unique sound being overlooked. Team Beyonce was posting charts and Grammy wins. The comments were wild. Now I see where Beyonce got that sound from. And Amerie been doing this since 2002. Y'all just catching up. But while the fan wars were raging online, something even more uncomfortable was happening on stage. Because Ciara decided tonight was the perfect time to put Jim Jones in the hot seat about his relationship status. And the secondhand embarrassment was next level. Picture this. Jim Jones is on stage, probably thinking he's just there to present an award. And then Ciara, with that sweet smile that doesn't match the chaos she's about to unleash, decides to bring up his personal business on live television. Jim, you've been with Chrissy for how long now? 16 years? You could see it in his face. That moment when he realized where this conversation was heading. But Ciara wasn't stopping. When y'all getting married though, like, what's the holdup? The crowd went silent, the awkward kind of silent. You could practically hear people's phones buzzing as they rushed to social media. Jim Jones tried to laugh it off with that nervous chuckle and, "Oh, we're working on it," non-answer. But Ciara wasn't having it. She wanted a real answer because Chrissy Lampkin has been loyal for 16 years through everything and still no ring. The comments started flying immediately. People were tagging Chrissy like, "Girl, even Ciara is asking the questions you should be asking." The majority were Team Ciara for having the audacity to ask what everyone was thinking. The most uncomfortable part was watching Jim Jones try to explain himself without actually explaining anything. "We've been together so long, we practically married already. Boy, if you don't take that weak excuse somewhere else." Ciara's face said everything. That raised eyebrow, that "I'm not buying what you're selling" expression. But while Jim Jones was getting grilled about marriage, the actual performances were reminding everyone why the BET Awards matter. And honey, Mia reminded everyone tonight that she is still that girl. When she stepped on that stage, it wasn't just a performance, it was a statement. The vocals were pristine. The dancing was flawless. The crowd was on their feet from the first note. Social media immediately went crazy. Mia just reminded y'all why she's a legend, and this is what real talent looks like. Because in an era where performances rely on auto-tune and backup dancers, Mia delivered pure, undiluted skill. But here's where the night got controversial again. While Mia was getting her flowers on the main stage, Mario was relegated to the pre-show. Mario, the man who gave us Just a Friend 2002 and Let Me Love You. And they put him on the pre-show like he was some opening act nobody cared about. The disrespect was real. The comments were brutal. How you gonna put Mario on the pre-show but give main stage time to artists who can't even sing live? Because Mario has vocals. Real trained, powerful vocals that most of today's artists would kill for. And speaking of getting recognition, Glorilla brought out Keisha Cole to perform Love. The kind of passing the torch moment that gives you chills. When Keisha stepped out and hit those first notes, the entire venue went crazy. People were crying, singing along, recording everything. Because that song isn't just a hit, it's an anthem. Glorilla made sure Keisha got her moment, made sure the legend got her flowers. That's respect. That's how you honor the people who made it possible for you to even be here. But while all this was happening, Teyana Taylor was quietly delivering one of the most stunning performances of the night. This woman performed Fire Girl in a long time, like her life depended on it. The vocals, the choreography, the stage presence, everything was perfection. Social media was in shambles over her entire presentation. Teyana Taylor said, "Let me remind y'all why I'm that girl." And this woman just served everything on one stage. And while everyone was praising her performance, the real tea was brewing about her personal life. Word is that Teyana has been getting cozy with actor Aaron Pierre, and people are here for this potential couple. The tributes to Quincy Jones, Roberta Flack, and Angie Stone had people in their feelings. Luke James, Ledisi, and Brittany Spencer delivered emotional performances honoring the giants whose shoulders they stand on. When they performed Killing Me Softly for Roberta Flack, there wasn't a dry eye in the house. But the most emotional moment, when Mariah Carey finally received her first BET award at 55 years old. Mariah has been dealing with the "is she black enough" conversation her entire career. But tonight, Beatty said enough of that nonsense. They gave her the Ultimate Icon Award because that's exactly what she is. The speech was emotional. Mariah thanked the Black community for embracing her when others questioned her place in it. She talked about her multiracial identity and how complex that journey has been. Social media was overwhelmingly positive. Mariah finally getting her BET flowers is everything. And Jamie Foxx's tribute? After his health scare last year, seeing him healthy and grateful on that stage was overwhelming. His speech was raw and honest about almost losing everything. The standing ovation lasted forever. People were crying, clapping, shouting encouragement. Kevin Hart hosting brought that comedic energy we needed with hilarious interactions with Drewski and Kai Cenat. Leon Thomas and Raven Lenae also delivered standout performances that had people asking, "Who is that?" in the best way possible. What made this entire ceremony different from recent years was that they actually celebrated the artists. They gave flowers to people while they can still smell them. They honored legends without waiting for them to pass away. It felt like the BET Awards remembered their purpose. The 106 in Park tribute set the tone perfectly. Bringing back Ashanti, T.I., Bow Wow, and B2K wasn't just nostalgia. It was acknowledgement that these artists shaped an entire generation. The fashion was incredible. The energy was infectious. And everyone genuinely seemed happy to be there. Sure, there was drama. The Amerie versus Beyoncé fan wars, Jim Jones get impressed about marriage, some questionable scheduling decisions. But even the drama felt more like family business than genuine negativity. It was the kind of mess that makes things interesting without being destructive. The BET Awards 2025 reminded us why these ceremonies matter when they're done right. They're not just about giving out trophies. They're about celebrating culture, honoring excellence, and bringing the community together. Tonight accomplished all of that and more. Drop a comment below. What was your favorite performance of the night? Do you think Ciara was right to call out Jim Jones? And are you here for this potential Teyana Taylor and Aaron Pierre situation? Let's keep this conversation going because tonight gave us plenty to discuss.